Connecting.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of Nanogangers Anonymous. I'm LaurenceCWinston, still clinically diagnosed with nanoganging, and been mostly doing that and a little bit of solo on the side. Today with me, we have our usual co-hosts, Rex Mikakka.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rex Mikakka. I am currently in Southeastern Curse Quidditch League, and I am a mediocre skilled small ganger and solo PvPer, and I live in Losec right now with Country, and yeah, hello.
Yeah, like Rex said, I'm Natalie Guass. I live in Losec, but I'm also a part of an Endcoin, which lives in a wormhole, and recently just got done getting knocked out of Captain's Cup along with Rex, so that was fun.
Ooh,
Uh, this is
oh,
true.
the pain. And with us, we have our special guest, extra special today. We have Mr. Casper24. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Casper, the 24th version. I am a member of the Spartan 2 project of the United Nations Space Covenant. We are generally in need of weapons and ask Katana for about everything. Previously, I was an Alliance tournament member of Hydra Reloaded, and we played in some tournaments, won some things, and lost a lot of things, and it's been a good time. Right now, I'm hanging out in Losec with one character and in a C2 wormhole with another character, and I am a professional coattail rider that shows up for pings and pretends to know things.
Very nice.
Very nice. I've also been very accustomed to losing things in the AT. It's how it goes.
I got to know, how'd you guys get kicked out of the Captain's Cup? I was not able to attend and watch this last weekend.
Oh man. Yeah, so I was captaining a Captain's Cup team, Curse Local Fauna, and we had a great team. Natalie was on our team. We had a couple of dudes from the Halo role-playing tour. Um, and we had everybody was, super passionate on our team. It was my first time captaining. And we got put into a best of three versus Volta,
Oof.
and yeah. So we won the first round pretty handily, and then it's it's really unfortunate because we took really good comps into the second and third matches, and we should have won on paper, but we just I guess we didn't scrim
Yeah.
enough. We kind of spaghettied a little bit, and what can you do? Volta is such a experienced team, and we were probably a little overconfident going into it.
Yeah.
But it was super fun, and
Was your
yeah, I
first
don't know.
match, was that a different day than your second two?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
I did get to
goofy
watch the first
scheduling.
one. I was super stoked for
yeah.
you guys. That was epic. I'm like, oh, they got this Volta throwing, Lee. And you go over and poke all your Volta friends and tell them they suck. It was very fun, but I'm sad to hear you lost.
Yeah, that was a fun match. I remember flying to Ashimu and holding in like 20%
Yep.
structure
I
until
think
the end
that's
of
the
the
only
match.
time I've ever seen Ashimu win, so congratulations.
That was crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
It's funny because oh man, we trash talked the Ashimu so much in our
Oh,
theory
for
crafting,
sure.
and then the day of the match, we were like, guys, I think we need to run Ashimu.
Yeah, we literally theory crafted like less than an hour before our match.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, I think we were running like a Phantasm or something before that, and we were like,
Yum.
this is not gonna
I,
work.
I have a question on
Um,
how captaining actually goes. That's something I've never done. I've been leadership or whatever, some theory and decision making, but never actually the guy who makes the calls. Is that stressful? Being like, hey, this is at the end of the day, this is your choice. What comp we take and who flies, or is it just whatever? Here we go.
Oh man, yeah, it's definitely a lot of pressure just because I don't consider myself like a great theory crafter or, like a particularly good player, and luckily I had some extremely knowledgeable people on my team, but it was kind of nerve-wracking when we would talk about theory crafting for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and at the end they'd be like, "All right, Rex, you need to make the call of what we're doing and what we're flying," and it's like, oh man, that's
Yeah, that
it's
I
a
think
lot of
you did
pressure,
a
but
really
yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have to call on grid very much. We had other people that were much more experienced doing that, and that took some pressure off my back. Mostly, it was just scheduling scrims and stuff, which wish I could have scheduled more. But yeah, I don't know. I think some people didn't take it as seriously as like the AT, which obviously who would take it as serious as that. So it's kind of difficult scheduling scrims and and things sometimes, but
How
it was
often did
super
you
fun.
guys? How often did you guys scrim?
On average, probably like 2.5 times a week. Sometimes we would do like four. Sometimes I think a couple weeks we scrimmed like once, and that is
you want to
unfortunate.
call out anybody for
But
being a trash scrim partner?
An
oh,
Little
dang.
shade.
unnamed team like canceled last minute twice in a row. Not gonna say
Oh,
who, but that was pretty tough.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I no, I won't call him out because I know it's hard, and I mean, it's hard wrangling our team around too. I think we had to cancel once or twice,
Yeah.
so it is what it is. Um,
and that always sucks.
yeah, yeah, man, it was. Yeah, it was a little emotional losing that match, but it was fun. I like our team so much. I wanna fly AT with some of them maybe.
Yeah, I think you guys like even. I don't think anyone or well, I know this because the betting was heavily skewed in Volta's favor during your first round, and you guys clapped them real hard. I don't even think you guys lost any ships. Like
No, no,
even
I
though it's
I
like,
nearly died.
yeah, it
But,
was like a full sweep. It was
yeah,
like
it
crazy.
was. By the way, I just want to say that it was a bait full tank Ashimu.
this is
Like
the
a
way.
lot of people, a lot of people like gave me some flack for not moving very much, and I don't think I was in the perfect position, but it was supposed to be in front of everything else. I just like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
clarify
No,
that.
I think that's a super valid tactic that people don't think about enough. They're like, "Oh, you got to kite, you got to
Yeah,
kite." No, 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 no. You give them a target and let them know what they can shoot, and then you just win. I think that's
No,
the
it's,
best strategy there is in AT.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it worked pretty good. We also, I mean, they didn't really screen our Tempest at all, but
yeah,
yeah,
the shots just like
it
moved
just
right
rammed their
through to the
logi. Yeah,
back.
that was pretty
It was
sweet.
like,
Yeah,
don't mind
yeah.
me, just coming through.
And then we returned the favor by just not screening them either. So
It happens.
Oh yeah, it happens.
yep. Also, TD was like not being very friendly on that day.
Oh,
People's modules are like red cycling for 20
that's
minutes,
got to be
and you know
so
how TD is.
frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. At the end of our match, our hyena's webs were just not turning on
Oh,
for like 10 seconds. They were just like
No.
he was in range, had cap, everything. It just they weren't
dude,
turning
yeah.
on.
Tournament mechanics are the worst. A couple years ago, Vidra was in a comp with a Leshak as their main damage, and it went into tie dye, and we didn't realize at that time that tie dye obviously it goes faster and faster at the end, yeah, but that does not go the same time as your Lesh spool. Your Lesh is in normal time, so they got
Oh
absolutely.
no.
I don't know what I can say,
That's
but they got boned badly by tie dye.
Oh
no!
no.
And they ended up
That
losing a
is so
knockout match. I
sad.
think it was winners bracket finals, losers bracket finals. I think they actually got knocked out from it. It was like one of the top four matches, and it was just because of tie dye and the Lesh mechanics versus what it should have done, and nobody knew because we'd never been there before.
Damn, that's
Damn.
tough.
Yeah, that is a sad loss.
Yeah, it's not something you would reasonably
No,
prepare
and you
for
can't
either.
test
It's
that,
like,
right? How
oh,
would you
yeah. You
ever
can't test
know?
tie dye.
Yeah,
and it's reverse tie-dye
Yeah.
too. So
Exactly.
it's like actually impossible to test.
Yeah,
yeah.
I forgot it was Pandy or
Reverse
Nika.
tie-dye is crazy.
He was not happy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Man.
All right. So okay, I guess normally what I would ask for is for us to kind of go over what we've been doing recently, and then maybe bring up the BR. But we kind of all been doing the Captain's Cup recently. Actually, Asper, were you doing? You're not doing any. You weren't doing anything for Captain's Cup,
No,
right?
I was on a team captained by a very, very famous and nice brother named Dexter Io. And then all of a sudden we were no longer on a team because we were a little slow to the submittal. And then Dex was like, screw this. So then I was no longer on a
no.
team. And so then
Oh,
I
yeah, I
decided
remember
to
seeing
be a
that.
meme commentator on our own little channel. And that was, honestly, that was pretty fun. We just had a bunch of guests on and just, threw shade at everybody, and nobody could yell at us for saying naughty words. And we didn't have to actually, like say stuff, and just got to troll on everybody. So it was really fun. It was nice, not being stressed out, what you guys were going through, and just like sitting back with a beer and having fun watching the bros shoot some stuff.
Oh,
Plus
yeah,
one for that stream, by the way. It's
Thank
very
you.
entertaining and very informative
Yeah.
to watch because I think some people are a little on the fence about certain people commentating matches, and
A little.
so it's nice to get more takes on it.
Oh, thank you.
No,
It was
I
definitely
thought
fun.
It's informative to watch.
your stream was like way more informative than the official stream. Not for like, I mean, they tried. As far as I understand, they were pretty put on short notice
Yeah.
for the official stream.
Honestly,
so it's not
for
really their fault.
exactly, like CCP could have chose better, I think, but for the people that they chose, I think they actually tried their hardest. So I can't troll those people
Yeah.
too hard.
Yeah, I think they put in a really good effort, but I heard, I don't, this is hearsay, but I heard that like everything was really last minute
Yeah.
for
Shout out to Bart,
the thing, so-
honestly, sitting there and
yeah,
running that
he-
whole
yeah.
desk like
Yeah.
out of the blue. And in the background, he's in our tournament channel, and we were just like, I dare you to wink. I dare you to say something, and, throwing out things that we can't say on stream. And he would like look at it, and we could see it in his glasses, the reflection. And then he'd like bust up laughing, and then try to commentate. It was a lot of fun.
Oh my god, that was great.
When someone said they could see the Discord in his glasses, I thought they were just memeing.
No,
it's
100%.
a joke.
The Hydra
But
Discord.
I looked at
Yeah.
the stream and it's like, wait, you could actually see the Discord
Yeah.
in his glasses.
It was great. Anyway, but MVP,
Oh my
he
God.
pulled that together and did really good for the tools he was given, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
But
All right.
you want me to talk about a BR?
Yeah.
All right.
What fight do you have ready? For
So
us?
a little bit of backstory about the BR. So in those tournaments we were recently talking about, there's some ships that we won, and we were like, how do we make these ships worth a little bit more? So we threw together a little plan to maybe spike a certain ship in price, and it worked really good. It went from like 220 to, I think the highest one I saw sell went for 395. And this happened within a period of like 3 weeks. Like, hey, we're going to spike it. We're going to spike it. Talk to some bros, poke some other bros. I'm like, hey, don't sell for anything regardless of what happens. We're going to just hold, supply and demand, but manipulate the hell out of it. And so nobody that I poked would sell for like X amount of weeks. So demand went way, 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 way up, and there's no supply. So we're now like, all right, we got this. And so then we had to like, all right, let's make some BRs. Let's make this ship look real good. And so the BR I want to talk about was in the middle of this little, fiasco, escapade, depending on if you bought or sold these ships. And so Grunt and Blue Morphium and Soldier and myself went out on a little yeet fleet one afternoon and did like 3 or 4 yeets in Tengu Curse Besla Laylaps. And it was really, really fun. Our very first yeet, there was a freaking blob of Zerg Reborn and Hold My Probes. And We Are Zerg is, I think, anyway, a mix of these nerds. And we were like, oh, we got to get in the ESS really, really fast. So we just chucked into the ESS as fast as we could. Nobody cloaked. We were just like, all right, this is what we got. Come and get us. And, bro, they brought it. They brought 3 Vargers, a Blackbird, a bunch of BCs, a couple Serbs, double Osprey, a bunch of Vedmax, a Crow. And it was, they didn't bring any recons. And we're like, guys, this is what you dream of. There was no recons. There was 3 Vargers, but all of us were overpropped, and we have a curse. And so we just sat at like 70 and, overpropped. And the hardest thing with overpropped is keeping up your transversal, but also staying maybe on the same side of a globe is the best way to describe it. Because, an ESS inside is just a big sphere.
Yeah.
And so we decided, we're going to stay on the South Pole, and this is what we did, and just, rotate around down there, coning, I think is what the Zoomers call it. And we just sat there fragging out. We started charging the Varger, and we couldn't break it, whatever. And then the whole fleet came in. They brought like a bait Varger in first. And then the fleet came in, and we just fragged the entire fleet and let the one poor Varger just sit there. And I think we killed 18 ships by the end of it, something like 7 bill. And then, after everything was dead, one Varger did manage to get away. And we just went back and killed the other Varger. And honestly, the BR looks epic, but we just sat at 70 chucking missiles. And, every 10 seconds, I go, I'm in reload because, Laylaps, reload, rapid lights.
Yeah.
But it was really, really fun. But the whole point was we, then went and checked that BR all over the place. And guess what? More Laylaps sold. So it was really fun. I had fun. We made money. People had some tears, and it was good.
Rich gets richer.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. That's a really good plan, actually.
That's really funny. Just like, I swear, like 2 days ago, I was in a conversation with some people who really wanted to buy Laylaps, and they were so mad, like seething mad that this happened.
Well,
like, oh my
I think
goodness.
this is the first time I've made it actually public that we did this. There was like 2 guys that knew what was going on. So you heard it here first, hot take. And I think they're going to end up settling, honestly. I mean, they're by far the best, strongest ship in the game, in my opinion. They're so freaking good. But I think they're going to end up settling somewhere, 295, 300 mark. Because there's so many of them. There's 150 question mark of them.
Yeah.
So they're going to drop again, but they're really good, and we're like, hey, let's show how good these are, and let's make some money.
Clearly, the next step
So
is to
were you?
the next step is
Continue.
clearly to become Von Hole and kill more of them, so that supply goes down.
The truth, no, honestly, I poke it. Well, I can't say this. Anyway, there is some intel. He will still kill me anytime he can, but we are friends and we talk.
Oh my god, that is an awkward relationship.
Wait, sorry. So were you over prop as well in the Laylaps?
100%.
Oh damn.
Which
I'm
I hear is pretty good, regardless.
It's
of it
really,
being
really
ESS,
good.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Laylaps is crazy tanky.
Yeah. Well, you guys are gonna all think I'm just talking to sell these things, but truthfully, for ESS only, the Besla is better. It's one, in this specific situation for overprop and full tank, the Besla has 1,000 DPS tank more and goes 1,000 meters a second faster, and you're not always on
Yeah.
reload.
The tank on the Besla,
Yeah.
even with overprop, is just crazy. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
if you
so
fit like
good.
no
Yeah.
prop, you would expect that much tank, and then it just has a 100 event on it.
So,
It is
Yeah.
actually pretty insane.
but yeah, it was
I think
good fun.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
looking at
I'm-
best lofts before. Oh, sorry, we're talking over. I'll let you go in just a second. I think when I looked at like a best fit for when I was like toying with the idea of flying it, it was like even a fairly cheaply, not that you would ever fly it cheap, but like even a fairly cheaply fit one tank like 2,000 HP a second or something. I was like, holy crap! Like what the
Yeah.
where is all this tank coming from? It's actually just insane. Rex, you were saying?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The Besla is like it seems like if you covered the right side of Pyfa and you just looked at the stats, it seems like just a crazy officer fit like Tengu or something, because it's like the same kind of setup as the T3s that people usually run the SS. So it's like perfect shoe-in. But I was just looking at this one of these Varger Kimmels, and I mean it's a pretty cheap fit Varger, but it does have 2 invulns and a shield boost amp and a dead space shield booster, and it took under 50,000 damage. So like these ships do so much damage, it's just incredible.
Our curse, the Blue Morpheum's curse, I'm pretty sure is something like 12 bill. So there's that.
Oh,
But yeah, we definitely were pay to win gamers today, or that day.
nice. Yeah. You guys have some competition. You're not the only people taking absurdly expensive ships into bubbles that you can't warp out of.
This is true. Those guys, man, the balls of steel. Like, this looks cool, but we were very, very safe. We had a Scepter Scout looking for recons, ESS straight into, or what are those things called? Filaments, straight into ESSs, right, with scouts. We were truthfully very safe, but some people out there, balls of freaking steel, like, I hand it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hui
Very
and
nice.
Reddick are kind of crazy with how they fly their Veslas. Like just last recording, they were talking about like I remember he was saying it's like he looked at the the 50-man mutant fleet. It was like, dude, we can fight this. I was like, bro, what? You're gonna burn into the 50-man? Like, I wasn't even mutant. It was like some like other missile ship. Well, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
No, my voice octaves would be go way up and I'd be like, help!
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that this kind of flying of the AT ship is probably the safest way, right? Is you don't take gates ever. You only take filaments, so you can't ever really be caught. And you're on the ESS, so you can't easily be like
Yeah.
dropped on, and you have a lot of room to maneuver.
Yeah.
Would you agree that this is like if like if other people are thinking of flying maybe some expensive comps, would this be your recommendation for how to fly?
100%. The only time you're going to get caught here is sliding into the ESS. Honestly, true. That's the only time you're in any danger. We all have refits to cloaks. If they bring too many, we just burn out a bubble, refit cloak, and just giggle and shit talking local. Like you can't ever be caught, and then you just fill them out, and you do the Poshvin highway, right back into high sec, and what's up? So truthfully, it's I'm gonna get so much shit for you're such a pansy. This is how you fly them, whatever. But if you got one and you want to use it and not have a hanger queen, that A, you're a freaking rock star in my book, and B, this is how you should do it.
Damn.
Very nice. Have you guys? So you guys filament your AT ships to high sec.
Yeah.
Have you ever run into any issues with like people trying to gank you?
No, because I'll take that back. I did lose an imp in high sec once, but that was CCP's fault.
Oh,
I have seen that kill mail in your bio. Yes.
So I mean, stuff happens, but when we want to move these, just DSTs. You're gonna lose your kill marks in your rigs, but you just cloaky warpy, like what are they called? Not prowler. Is it prowler? Anyway, the cloaky warpy ones, you just repack.
The blockade
blockade runners, and you just move them to wherever you need. And so whenever we want to meet up, we just say, hey, we're meeting here, and we move and go. And yeah, again, rip kill marks and rip rigs, but if you're already in a 175 to 500 bill ship, your rigs are meh.
Yeah.
The kill marks do hurt though. I feel like
That
collecting
would make
kill
me
marks
sad.
on a unique is pretty sweet.
That's true, but if you're just doing it to sell it,
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, for sure.
Do the
I
kill
wonder-
marks add value?
Yeah, is that actually a thing?
not
Like, if you
that
have
I've
any,
ever
like-
figured out. I've had 14 imps now. I'm sold 13. I've had 14. Obviously, just buying and selling, right? You just keep turnover. And I've never had one sell for more than the other because of the kill marks.
Wow.
Okay. No, I think that probably makes sense. Like, if someone told me, "Oh, I'm raising the price by 15 bill because that's kill marks," I probably
Yeah, and if there's another for
buy.
if there's another for
Yeah.
sale at 15 bill cheaper, you're gonna be like, well, f you, I'm gonna go buy that one.
yeah.
Put my own kill marks on it.
True. Yeah. All right, that's pretty sweet. Oh my goodness. Just like the thought, I feel like it'd be super fun, but just the thought of flying like a ship worth 3 years of subscription.
Oof,
Like,
don't tell me
Jesus,
about
see-
that. I can't think of it that way. I've lost so many. Don't tell me that.
Casper, you have to convince Laurence. He may or may not have a Vesla sitting in a hangar
Really?
somewhere.
I didn't know this.
It's sitting
It
in.
may or may not need kill marks.
Well,
on
It's
it,
gonna
which it
sit
does
in the
not
hangar
have.
for a while, bros. That's
We can make this happen. I have, whatever, thrown it out. I have a fiend that I really, really haven't used in a long time, and I want to use it in the same way. Obviously, it's worth a little bit more, but I want to do it. So maybe he'll come.
I've been told that the Fiend is a pretty trash ship by a lot of people, though.
Well,
I don't know if that's
those people
true
have
or-
never flown it, so I don't think they should be able to talk.
Oh, okay.
But
It also
True?
came out when ESSs were
Yeah.
not what they are now.
the
so-
range on the fiend definitely hurts. Like I can't chuck missiles with no brain power from 100. Yeah, but if you get close and have some huevos, it does 1,000 DPS out to about 50. I mean, it's not the worst.
Wait, damn. That's a
Speaking
lot
of
better than I
range,
thought.
do you use Hydras in the lay laps?
No,
Is that OPSEC
no.
information?
It was
Okay.
snakes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I know some people were doing Hydras with the Beslas, which Besla doesn't shoot very far, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the Hydras are a lot stronger. Hydras make sense for Vesla because it's already so fast. Like
Yep.
you don't really.
For this, I would 100% do Hydras in the Vesla. Then you can say, I think it's 108 kilometers. I think, question mark, don't tell me wrong. And you're already 1,000 meters a second faster than the lay laps in this case. So what's the point of that speed if you can already mitigate? Because if the lay laps is going to live, you're going to live.
Yeah.
And also, drone web range. Just saying.
Oh God. Do they actually
Yeah.
extend the range of the web drones?
Yeah, that's what
Oh
the
my
Hydras
God.
do. Extra range.
XD. I will have you
Anyways.
know, Grunt did not launch his web drones until there was one ship left. Because he's like, no, these assholes will shoot him.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Wait,
remember.
one day.
I remember
one day.
watching Max Wolf video, and it just doesn't have web drones. He just has warriors, which is like feels bad, but also they do so little.
Oh, he should at least put one set of them,
Yeah, that's what I was
for-
saying.
EC
Like,
drones is
at
the
least
only way in
one.
AT ships. I've been saved one time, and from then on, I was in a Maracha, hard tackled, 200 off a gate in low sec. There was like an Ishkur, I think, and I was in an RD Maracha. I was solo tackled, and it would have been a solo kill, and I probably would have never played again. But literally, dropped EC drones, aligned, hit F, got the F away. I was so stoked.
Oh my God. That is
Dude,
great,
that Ishkur pilot was robbed.
Oh, boo! I would be
Robbed.
so mad. I'd quit if I was that Ishkur pilot too.
Dude, can you imagine seeing the Saga solo kill mail of
Oh,
unique in an Ishkur?
I was so embarrassed. I was like begging on comms for somebody to help me, but I was like 4 jumps out of Amamaki and nobody was gonna get there in time, and it was bad.
Oh my goodness.
This is one of several Casper gets caught by a
I've got so
solo
many stupid stories.
stories.
I'm actually not good at this video game. Just saying.
Oh, none of us are.
No, I think you could probably make that claim. Not too many people contest it.
True story.
All right, let's just go down in voice channel order. Country, what BR do you have prepared for us?
All right, yeah. So I kind of have a story in 3 parts, but I put a BR that, with all 3 combined, it's kind of a not particularly interesting BR, but I just thought it was pretty interesting how the fight sort of progressed. So the way it all started out was that Exna and Mazik were just chilling together on comms in the wormhole, and they happened to roll into Brave. So they pinged, like, oh, this might be interesting, but no one was really online, so they just went out in what I think is actually a pretty cool... Mazik was in a pretty interesting augur. I don't know if it's good, but it's funny. It has 2 reps, remote reps, 2 energy neutralizers, and then a remote cap transfer. And it also has a scram in the mid. So it's kind of doing 2 things at once. It's, it has that scram, it has those news, but obviously it's still an augur, it's still repairing things. And at first, oh, and Exna was in a Vedmac. So at first, the Brave just shot at the AUG, but it's also dual rep in the low, so it was tanking pretty well. And then they switched onto the Vedmac after they figured out they couldn't break the AUG. And even with AUG reps on it, they just cracked through the Vedmac, unfortunately, because they had like a NATO and a Hecate there. And then after that, eventually the AUG died. So they decided to go for round 2 once a couple more people were online. So I happened to be there, and so recently I decided to fly a bit of Kitsune for no particular reason. I just thought it was funny, and it's kind of a cancer ship when it works and a really bad ship when it doesn't work. So
So true.
You're so true.
yeah, and then Exna decided to bring a Geta Navy. The context for even having a Geta Navy in the first place was last AT. We did really well with Geta Navies on the enemy teams. So Exna bought one, and they just, get a Navy. It's good in AT, maybe not so good on TQ. So she's never had a chance to really use it. So she decided to take it out into Brave Space and see what kind of fight we could get. And of course, they decided to bring 2 Paladins, Onyx, Tiffany in the Ram Vaga, and all sorts of other fun things that we can engage in a Get a Navy.
Lovely.
So I forget what got tackled on the Get a Navy, but somehow the Get a Navy got tackled by some things that it couldn't just newt off with its newts. But luckily, Kitsune jams, they're not particularly effective at some things, but they're very effective at jamming off tackle frigs. So I jammed off all the tackle frigs, and Exna's Geddon warped off to a safe, and then they decided, okay, let's go for the Kitsune. They combat probed me down. I warped to a side safe and just cloaked up. So the Kitsune is pretty fun at just, annoying people, and then you can just cloak up on grid if you have a ping. So they spent a while looking for me, couldn't, and then we decided we had to extract the Get a Navy. And so that part was pretty sketchy because they actually were coordinated enough to figure out where the Get a Navy went. But luckily that cluster had like 2 gates, and the Get a Navy warped to the correct one that was in the direction of our home hole, and I misclicked and warped to the wrong one. But all of the Brave fleet, like the entirety of the Brave fleet, somehow all warped to the wrong one with me. And I guess they saw the Kitsune there. They're like, oh, this must be the gate that they're going through. So they all just sat there. And I was sitting there with my Kitsune, which it doesn't have tank. It's full range fit. I was at 0 on the gate with an aggro timer, so I couldn't jump. And there was a Hikade, like, right next to me. I was like, is he going to shoot me or what? But I think he's trying to hold aggression in case either I jumped or the Geddon jumped, came over to the gate and jumped through or something. So I don't know. I just sat there for like 20 seconds waiting out my weapons timer while there's just a bunch of frigates and destroyers chilling on gate with me. And eventually I heard that the Geddon jumped through the gate and warped off. So I was like, okay, I'm done baiting here. My weapons timer's up. I just jumped through. They all followed. And then I micro drive cloak trick off the gate. And then they ended up with no kills. They didn't get the Geddon. And they didn't get the Kitsune either. Which,
that's actually
we did. Yeah, and then we did decide to go for round 3 later on, but they again brought the Paladin, the Vargur, and then triple recons this time. So unfortunately, no engagement there, and we decided, okay, Brave's not going to give us a fight tonight, so we rolled it away.
Yeah, I see Tiffany in the latch, usually assigned that fun time's over.
Yeah.
I have a question about this auger. Mm-hmm. Is this the first time he's flown it? Because I've never seen anything like this, and it might be very cool. Those small newts, get stuff off you. You can just get free.
Yeah, it's like a budget Rabisu.
No, this is actually very, very cool.
Rabisu at home.
AliExpress Rabisu.
This is sweet.
Yeah,
I'd be lying if I had said that I haven't died to Logi cruisers with scrams before. Definitely have done that multiple times.
Mystical Might, maybe?
There was one guy... No, I haven't died to him, but I have died to somebody in, Horde or something, 3 times. It's the same dude. He flies a simi with a scram, and I keep inting into him.
Oh, no.
It's a thing at this point.
Oh, my word. That on comms would be pretty funny.
Yeah, don't know how much Mazik has flown that Og, but yeah, Mazik is a pretty good Logi pilot. He likes to fool around with some fits, and I think that's a pretty interesting fit.
Yeah, I've played with Mazik before also, and he knows how to fly an auger. He also likes to fly very expensive augers sometimes, and they perform very well. They're probably one of the best T1 cruisers you can bring into a fight if you have armor ships.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
We kind of talk about it like it's a meme, and it is, but Logi, some of the faster Logi cruisers actually make decent tackle. Because they're pretty quick, and all the Logi cruisers have very good cap. Well, probably because you would assume they need it for repping and stuff. So you can kind of have a fit that's light on some elements and still workable, just because if you just aren't running remote reps like you would be expected to. I know in faction warfare, we never ram scythes anymore, because I feel like at least in Calgao, I encountered almost equal numbers of Logi scythes to tackle scythes in battlefields.
I want to see a full newt auger and just run it at something.
Just no
yeah,
reps.
full newt. Run it like an Astro move. Run it at somebody with like double web and micro warp drive and full newt.
Honestly, it could really work, like if people just don't expect it, I think in a similar way, like I know I have like this mostly Secret Santa what's that ship called? The Zarm.
Mhm.
And I remember when it was given to me, it had an RTC in the mid slot, and I found that I never it didn't seem super useful. So I was thinking what I could replace this RTC with, and I think the smart choice, which would be probably like a sensor booster. But I thought, what if I put a scram instead?
Do it.
And I did. It actually ended up being really useful because with 100 MN and scram, there was a lot of times where I would get scrammed by a frigate, and I just scram them back and the line out, and I just get out. And
That's brilliant.
I don't think people expect to be scrammed back by a Zarm or anything really, but especially a Zarm because you have bonus newts, so I could just put double bonus newts, scram, and then AB away, and basically nothing with a scram can really tackle you.
That's great.
What?
I forgot about the bonus newts on the
Yeah,
Zarm. That's
same.
actually
I
pretty
forgot
funny.
Yeah, but yeah, you have bonus new capacitor usage. I do think I talked to Kadesh about the Zarm for a little bit, and I am convinced that the sensor booster is the sensible choice, as it were, but
It's no fun playing sensible.
it's sometimes it's if you want to have a little bit of fun, you could go with and you're flying against not a super dangerous comp. You could have that mid slot fit a few other things. All right. I suppose next it'll be my turn. So my BR is I clicked on the wrong BR. Where's my BR? Scrolling up. Here. I'll post it in again just in case. So this was a little fight in Declan that I found. So I was I'm also flying with the United Nations Space Company. But I was just on comms, and I was basically soloing out of the C2. Just chatting with people. People were playing Sons of the Forest. But Sons of the Forest makes me dizzy, and it's in early access, so I decided I'm just gonna play some Eve, whatever. And I decided to go out in an Ishkur because I like flying kind of off meta things, and I've also discovered that if I go out in Draugr, Retri, Orthrus, people don't really want to fight you. So I was testing out some more ships that look less spooky, and I landed on the Ishkur. It's my every 3 or so months I encounter a brain aneurysm, and I just like to try and make the Ishkur good again before inevitably realizing it's bad. But I went out, and this actually worked really well. So I tackled an Ishtar at a haven, and he had I don't know why in particular, because I don't think it was even good for the rats, but he had Vespas, so they weren't very quick for one thing, and they shot kinetic into my T2 Galantier list. So I was very comfortably tanking this Ishtar. I mean, this Ishtar, and I was just, but I wasn't really doing any damage to him because I'm also dealing most half kinetic and thermal damage to him. So he was also very comfortably tanking me. So I just sat there shooting him for 5 minutes, and we were both staring at each other. And then he decided to bring in Osprey Navy, and I think it started with just an Osprey Navy and a Bellico, something weird. I was like, oh no, if they do any bit of damage to me, I'm screwed. But for whatever reason, they also had kinetic loaded, and were also shooting kinetic at me. so I was like, okay, I'm just tanking these guys as well. So I just tackled the Osprey Navy instead, and I called for the help from the boys, and they took their sweet time logging off of Sons of the Forest and like slowly meandering over. And in the meantime, the Ishtar warped off, and I think got into another Osprey Navy. So, and then someone else got into Enyo. So I had Enyo, double Osprey Navy, Bellico shooting me. All shooting kinetic. Literally all of them doing damage into my high resist profile. So I was taking all 4 of them at the same time. And it was just like the funniest thing ever. I was just in this Ishkur. It was like a T2 fit Ishkur too. I was just like slowly like moving away from them while taking full DPS and from all 4 ships. I was like, well, I mean, their light missiles are dealing like 30 damage a shot, so I guess I just don't care. I guess I'll just keep tackling this guy. So I ended up tanking well enough that I ran out of cap boosters, but by that time, a couple of bros came in with some retries, and we managed to tackle, keep tackle on all of their. So I think we brought like Retry and Sentinel to start, and we managed to get tackle on all their ships, and most of their ships. I managed to solo the Enyo before help really arrived. After shooting it for 5 minutes. But then we tackled their cruisers, and that's what got the fight going. They ended up bringing a lot more. They brought like Onyx, Caracal Navy, another Osprey, and then so we slowly escalated on that. I think we actually kind of fumbled the escalation a little bit because when we had Retry, Sentinel, Ishkur, we felt like we needed a little bit more, so we pinged and we asked for like 1 person to come, and instead like 3 people showed up.
That's how it is.
Which is which is fine if they just held like 1 jump out, but they all like came in all at once. I was like, oh, okay. So the escalation sort of stopped there, but we managed to get a pretty decent fight. We pretty much killed everything. I don't think maybe 1 or 2 cruisers got off, but otherwise we managed to bounce tackle across like everybody and kill. It was a pretty clean sweep. And I just really like this BR because it was just so funny that I was in a 50 mil assault frigate and tanking 3 cruisers and a assault frigate at the same time. If at any moment they just reloaded into not kinetic, I would have instantly exploded. But
every one of them is gonna go buy a freaking Ishkur right after this BR.
Bro,
he tagged us.
They're gonna go feed them instantly and not know what happened.
I had 20% resist to explosive and 80 something percent resist into kinetic, and they just shot me. They just would not stop shooting me with kinetic. But I kind of wanted to bring up
that
this
is awesome.
VR as sort of an idea of how, maybe not idea, but basically the whole reason I didn't bring out the Ishkur because I was I'm gonna happen to encounter a bunch of people shooting only kinetic and tank them all. I was the idea was that this thing looks really crappy and no one's gonna be scared of it. I would like to think no one's gonna be scared of Ishkur of all shifts. So, and that's kind of what happened. These guys were not scared. They're very happy to even though it was I think it was pretty clear I was going to get help. I wasn't killing anything, and I was still staying on grid holding tackle, right? So I must have something planned, but they were still confident enough. They're still happy enough to fight that we managed to get the boys in and get the fight going.
That Sentinel looked like it did work on the Loki that came in. It tanked nothing.
It did.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a nice Loki too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, this thing kind of just exploded. It was basically dry by the time we got onto it. I think we kind of held the Loki for a while shooting while we shot the other stuff, just because everything else was squishier and it was obviously easier to kill. But by the time the Loki was on grid, we kind of had everything already set up and the fight was already swinging in our favor, so there was not too much you could do.
Some of these fits here crack me up. Like this
Yeah.
Draugr has
Oh yeah.
eye stab and double low friction nozzle joints and a cloak and a small smart bomb.
Holy crap! I didn't see that.
Have you seen the mid slots on the Draugr?
Yeah, they're
Double
cabinets.
cap recharger.
Yeah, there was some perhaps somewhat inoptimal fitting choices made.
Bro, he saw Sentinel and he goes, "Hold my beer."
I will not be capped.
I think the scimitar forgot to fit one of his rigs.
Yeah, just single rig scimitar.
Oh,
I used to, like, when I was like a noob at the game, I wouldn't rig my ships because it would like give you the pop up when you rig them that you're like modifying it, and I was like, oh, that's bad.
no.
Like, I don't want to mess up the ship, and then plus I have to destroy them if I want to take them off. Hell no, dude, I'm just not putting them on.
bro, that was a thing. Like rigs were expensive back in the day. You're like, no, fuck this. I don't need them. You would die all the time with no rigs and nobody thought anything of it. And then you had rigs and
really?
people
Oh my
called you a baller. Yeah, like boomer moment, like
That's fun.
2005-ish.
Damn.
I had this this like stupid plated like bling Omen Navy issue fit that I tried out like a few weeks ago, and I fed it instantly, which was not because of the fit. It was just because I was retarded. But I did I put a hybrid locus on it, and I didn't realize
Oof.
until I died.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy to do. Truthfully, I think a lot of people have done that.
Oh yeah. That reminds me of this, like, this isn't super related, but not way back, a few years back, I remember I tried my hand at selling like contracted ships in Thera to make a little bit of ISK on the side, because I happened to be like staging in Thera and was moving stuff constantly there anyways. So I remember I was selling wolves and retries, right? And I must have like fumbled my fitting in Python a little bit, because I was selling wolves and retries, and after a while I decided I needed like a wolf, or I think did I need a wolf or a retrie? I think I needed a wolf, and I was like, oh, I'll just take down one of my contracts and I'll just fly it instead, because I happen to be out of wolves. And I got it, and I was like, yeah, something about these numbers doesn't look right. And I realized I had heat sinks instead of gyros in my wolves. And I had been selling this fit, and people have been buying it for like weeks.
Oh no!
I just been selling heat synced wolves to people
Oh
this
my
whole
god,
time.
dude.
I was like, oh
That's
my
so
god,
good.
how many people have I smited with my
Yeah.
wrongly fit wolves?
A similar thing I
Man.
remember some of the Fweta people discussing was basically joining, if you're fighting against some low block alliance, you join that alliance and you stock their contracts, but say like they have a Munin fit, right? You fit 5 MNs on it, or you fit
Oh,
like
dirty.
mag
my
stabs.
God.
That's so dirty.
That's so funny.
Oh my god. That's great. Man, I've been in that situation so many times living in Thera where, because there was a while where the public contracts in Thera were popping off. You could get all kinds of stuff on public contract, but it would be the worst.
Oh yeah.
They'd just be the worst fits ever. And you'd be like, you'd be on grid and you'd be like capped out, or like not, like you don't have range, or you do like 200 DPS in your ship, and people are like, dude, like, what's wrong with your ship? And you're like, man, it was all they had in Thera contracts. Like, shut up.
Oh,
Yeah, I definitely contributed to some of that. 'Cause inadvertently.
Wolf's doing like 98 DPS.
Yeah, I was just like, man, why does my wolf like do no damage? Like, what am I like, what's wrong? And I like, it's like, oh wait, I have a heat sink in here.
Yeah.
man.
You just need lasers on it.
You're right. That was what was wrong. Not,
Yeah, that's how Millen would fix the fit, dude.
oh no.
Millen Arc Trooper.
He would fit
man.
720 millimeters on it.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Well, yeah. I apologize to anyone who bought some wolves off contract a few years back.
Man, I probably still have one of those in my hangar. I'll check. So yeah, I guess I could go through my BR. My BR is not like, we didn't really do anything like that out of the ordinary, but I just thought it was a really good fight, and it was kind of cool how it came about. So I decided to film it from Jita with a couple of my friends, and we popped into a public channel in the Bringing Solo Back
Yeah,
Discord,
boy.
which you should totally join if you have not yet. And I just jumped in there, started streaming, and just started forming up in Jita. And it was originally supposed to be, I think, just me and one other person. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was Dusty. I don't remember who it was. But by the time we were actually formed and ready to film it, we had like 15 people.
Yeah.
Just people seeing that I was doing something and like, oh yeah, I'll join. So we ended up having an Artie slep. Laurence brought his Artie Macarial and an RTC backpack scimitar. Sid and his trademark Phobos. We had Liam and Urkus and his Rapid Light Legion. Abu Wahid was in a Dracovac. We had a Retribution, Crow, a couple other Scepters, Jordy and a Mollis. And I wanted to try out the Munin. Before the Munin was changed to missiles, I felt like it had kind of a niche because it was one of the only hacks besides the Vagabond that was actually fast enough that you could comfortably fly it in nullsec without snakes. I didn't feel like that was really feasible with like the Zealot or the Deimos, or other hacks. Of course you can do that, but you just have to rely more on your anti-tackle. So if you don't know what your gang is going to be like a ship that goes 1900 or 2000, sometimes it's a little sketchy. And the Munin could do like 2400 with no pod. It was awesome. And they didn't change the speed when they changed it to missiles. And originally when I was looking at the Munin post patch, it seemed pretty disappointing. But I fit up an XLASB version, triple BCS with some range mods, rapid lights, and I think I got it to shoot to like 56 or something.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's a 250 million S cruiser that you don't need to be in a pod to fly. So I thought perfect for Cheetah filaments. So I was in that, and we ended up filamenting, and we went to Fade to I think this is Weeform Blob space, and we ran into a Kiki fleet, a pretty small Kiki fleet. I think it was maybe 8 or 10 of them. It was Goonswarm, and we inadvertently ran into them. We were going to a staging system, and I guess there was some miscommunication with our scouts or something because we just landed on gate with these Kikis.
Oh, I remember that. Oh my god,
man, yeah. So we end up jumping the gate with them, and we're just like, okay, we just need to starburst and just get away from these Kikis and start fragging them. And we start pulling off the gate, and everybody except the Sleipnir gets off the gate. The Sleipnir gets caught and is just killed so fast, and he loses his snakes too, which was really sad. But other than that, we got a really good first engagement. We fagged a bunch of Kikis, we got a Gnosis, we got some Stabbers, some other cruisers and stuff. And for being an NPSI fleet, I feel like we did a pretty good job of positioning, and we had some people that were pretty knowledgeable and comfortable with shot calling, so that ended up being a really good first engagement. Unfortunately, we had a couple people burn out modules, so we kind of had to leave early and go to an NPC station that was like, I think it was like 8 or 10 jumps away, and repair all our stuff. And then we went right back to that staging system because we were like, oh, cool. There was a bunch of stuff there. It was pretty fightable. And we go to the ESS grid. But at first, we just send a couple frigates in and my Munin and try to do a little bit of escalation, and that worked perfect. We got a few destroyers came in, a couple cruisers, and then we slowly trickled in the rest of our gang. And this time we were fighting more brave people. There might have been a couple goons on grid. I am so out of the loop with Eve politics. Can somebody tell me if they are blue or
No idea.
not to each other? Okay.
Maybe. I think we were mostly fighting goons at that point, though.
I see like an equal split of brave and goons on this BR. It looks like a lot of the brave people we were fighting on the ESS grid. I'm not sure if we were third partying, is what I'm saying. I don't. It doesn't. It didn't
They
feel
didn't
like
shoot
it.
each other, so I assume they were like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they weren't. They at the very least they were like tent blue or something.
yeah. But we ended up getting a great fight on the SS as well. They brought a decent amount of Ospreys. They brought some Artie Hurricanes, and they brought. Let's see, what else was on grid here? They had T2 Logi. They had a Scimitar. It was mostly a lot of rapid light spam. But super fightable. And we stayed on grid and fought for a decent amount of time. We killed an Enforcer. That was weird. And then I ran into probably the largest limitation of the Munin, which is its kinetic hold. It's an XLSB hack, so it's super tanky, but it has 40% kin resists.
Ouch.
So it really only tanks like 400 kin DPS. And because it's so hurt for range, I had my lows were triple BCS, missile guidance enhancer, coprocessor, nano. I did not have an ADC. And I ended up dying to literally 2 Osprey Navies and an Artie Cane, which is embarrassing for a hack, but it's yeah, I guess it's the other side of the resist story. Sometimes you're tanking stuff you should have no business tanking, and sometimes you're dying to things that is just absolutely ridiculous. So I died at the very end of the fight, and it was so sad because I didn't think I was even in danger at all, and I don't know. I tried to line out, and I didn't even get to warp off before I just got volleyed through hull. So that's limitation of the hull. But I think the Munin is a good ship, or at least it's decent for the price. I don't know if it's good, but it's engageable.
273 mil or whatever this says. This is a pretty dank BR, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then I convinced somebody to eject their alt from a stiletto so I could stay in the fight.
Smart.
And I took it, and I went. I went and found a Kikimora, and I was like, "Guys, I'm gonna go point this Kiki. Just warp to me." And I pointed it, and immediately died. So, yeah, I deserve to get made fun of for that one. I thought I don't know. I thought I could.
It's really hard.
Kikis are
I guess I
broken,
can't
man.
point Kikis.
Tracking.
There's
is,
a reason they're primaried first every time.
Yeah. I don't know what I thought would happen, to be honest. But yeah, so the moral of the story is if you want to filament from Jita and you don't have any friends to do it with you, just go join the Bringing Solo Back Discord, go in a public channel, stream Eve, and tell people, hey, I'm filamenting from Jita, and people will show up, and they will probably be better than you, and you can just get carried. It'll be awesome.
The names on this BR, like there's some really good people here. This is, Radicos has done what? 7, 8 ATs. Anakin Skywalker, everybody knows who that is. Jordan, very good pilot. Liam, he's been around the block forever. There's some good people here.
Yeah, I was excited to get to fly with Liam. I have seen his name in Eve videos that I was watching when I was like 13, 12 years old. So it was pretty neat to get to fly with him. And yeah, he did top damage.
No,
rapid
he
light
out
legion.
DPS'd me by 300.
Get good,
Yeah.
kid.
Oh.
You need to overheat your RTC on your backpack simi next time, dude.
That's cheating.
No, not on the VR. Nope, doesn't count.
Huh?
Doesn't
Doesn't
exist.
exist.
Let's see.
Hey, that doesn't work for the video competition. Just saying.
True.
None of that crap.
Damn. Well. Yeah, Sid can't submit his Phobos footage either. He's blogging
Yeah.
too hard.
Too
I
many.
told him this too when I saw this. Like, nope, get out of here, kid.
It's okay. Laurence can edit out the scimitar in post.
Yeah,
Just hide the RGB.
I'm
God.
just hitting things from like 150 naturally. Don't worry about it.
It's like
There's just one blurred out ship.
it keeps moving around on your overview. You don't know what it is.
I'll just color correct it to red.
Yeah.
He's just on the B side. Yeah, but this
Oh, that's actually really good.
this is I think I've only been on 2. I've been on 2 BSV roams so far, and they've both been pretty funny. The first one was funny for the opposite reason of this one, because
So
like
the first one.
like
Oh, go ahead.
I think it was Abu that pinged that realm or something, and we eat it and landed close to Fort Heck H. And Rex, who wasn't even on the fleet with us, he was just like chatting on Discord, told us to go to Fort Heck H, and I was like, this cannot go well. So we went and we went to Fort Heck H. We thought people was like, oh, let's jump to this next door system. I was like, I've been to Fort Heck H before. I know what's about to happen. So I did not. I went to a ping next to the gate instead. I landed, and as soon as we landed, 20 dudes materialized out of nowhere and tackle, and everyone else got immediately boned, and I warped off. I was like, yeah, this is what I thought might happen.
Dude, I think
I feel
we've fed so many high grade snakes to those nerds.
You gotta put some respect on Brad's name. Dude. You do not.
Yep.
You do not go to
Yeah,
Fort
they don't
Heck
mess
H
around.
without being ready.
Yeah.
I felt so bad because I feel like Abu got blamed for that. And I was laying in bed on my phone and I was like, you guys should go to
Oh, baited.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was so funny. I do feel a little bit bad because it really wasn't Abu's fault, but it just seemed that way because he was kind of making the call in the fleet chat. But this fight was really good.
That's nice.
Though I will say this could have if this was I kind of just say if this was frat, I feel like we would have all instantly fed on that first gate warp in. I don't remember who it was that called that the gate was clear, but the gate was not fucking clear. I warped to the gate and there was literally 10 kikis with tackle around me. I was like, oh my god, we are all boned. And we were all landing on that gate. I landed first because I was in I was in a Macarial, but
rip.
yeah, I was in the Ascendancy Macarial because I want to keep up with the fleet, right? Otherwise, if you're the only battleship, you're gonna be fucking behind. So I was like, we are actually all boned. We just landed in 10 kikis and a bunch of tackle.
I need the sound clip. of this.
I just took.
We are boned.
I have it. Oh, I'll upload.
Yes, please do it. Start this whole episode with that. Guys, we're boned.
I don't know if that's what I said, but that's what I thought. I was like, okay, what's the best? What's the only way we can make? Okay, let's hope they're not prepared, right? So I took the gate, and I think I called everyone to just take the gate and then warp as soon as you can, or pull. So I took the gate and I warp off, and thank God they didn't tackle me. Unfortunately, Timia in the Sleipnir did get tackled. So he instantly exploded, as you would expect.
As you do.
Yeah, when you land into a gate that's definitely not clear and had 20 dudes on it. But this roam was very, very close to ending right there. If these guys were a little bit more coordinated or had their bubbles ready, we would have all died immediately. But thankfully, I think that they probably just weren't really expecting this many people to arrive. I think they maybe were caught a little bit off guard and didn't react fast enough. So I managed to get off, and all of our cruisers managed to pull and start fragging kikis. So it turned into it went from oh my god, we're all bone scenario to holy crap, this is an insane fight.
Yeah, this looks so much fun, actually. Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good fight. Once we got range on the kikis, they fought us for a little bit. We killed a few. They warped off, and then they reformed their fleet, and they warped back, and then we killed more of them. And then there was a bunch of random stuff all over the place. I'll try to upload the footage and maybe throw it in the show notes.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. The Rapid Light Mutant, I think actually, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When Rex first brought up the idea of the Rapid Light Mutant, I was not a believer.
Were you flaming?
Did I flame? I hope I didn't flame, but I didn't. I was not a believer.
Oh, you guys definitely flamed. You guys love to hate on me, dude.
I was like, surely there's no way this is good. But
I remember this. We were talking about it on Discord, and Laurence was like, I see posting about Mutant. I just scrolled past it.
Oh, called out.
But
so if you're in a pod, I feel like the Cerberus is definitively better.
But I do agree with Rex now. I think for the cost and like for as an anti-tackle platform, like the mutant actually does really well. I don't know if I think like having heard Drex's experience, I might try to plug the kinetical somehow. But
It's so painful.
otherwise, I
Yeah.
think this fit actually performs really well. It actually inspired me to make the Serb fit. Like, well, I kind of had like I would have been toying with the idea of the Rapid Light Serb fit, but post nerf. But I didn't really want to do it because I didn't think it'd be good. But then like Rex showed us the mutant fit, and it actually worked really well. It's like, oh, so what if I can do the Serb? But they're actually very
Do you,
different. The Serb needs snakes because it's like so much slower, whereas the
do
mutant.
you think you could pay to win a little bit and get rid of an overclocking unit for like a kinetic rig?
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely bling it out
No.
and plug or do an ADC somewhere.
Yeah.
Either one. Oh yeah, that's one thing I was going to talk about is like, um, I guess I need to do more research on this. I don't really know how to figure it out. Maybe there's some data somewhere, but I think that kinetic damage is the most common damage type
I agree.
in the
It
game.
I
is.
totally agree.
Like rapid light ships load kinetic. If they're small gangers, they load kinetic because they want to kill Jags.
Yep.
There's hybrid weapons. Kinetic drones are really good. If a Gila, like a lot of times Gilas use Caldari drones because they have cracked shield regen. Kinetic is a secondary damage type
Hybrids.
on yeah. What am I not hybrids? Projectiles.
Dude, even my
Um,
Drugger, I plug the kinetical now. I drop one of the lows for a kinetic hardener just because they're everywhere.
oh yeah,
And if I'm gonna
yeah.
die, it's
So
gonna be to a freaking Osprey Navy or Caracal shooting kinetic.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that makes the mutant painful, and it makes the Serb. Oh my god, like the Serb is ridiculous post patch. It lost the range, but it got the rep bonus, and that combined with high kin therm resists, it's like so absurdly tanky for a hack. It's
Hmm.
like
I haven't
super
looked at it or even
ridiculous.
flown it since they changed it. That gives me something to look at on Pyfoot tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I leaked the tech, so
Well,
heard it
I,
here
I
all
already
right.
first.
flew it with. Actually, no, Casper wasn't on that roam, but I already flew it with the UNSC a couple of times.
Goran Serb fleet next. You heard it.
It's really.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not like optimal, right? But I think people would be very surprised at how well it tanks. I don't have the BR ready, but I brought it out while I brought it out as like a kind of second ship when Amelia was. I think he was actually in his imp or something. It was I don't know really
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
exactly how the fight started, but I remember we were fighting like a blob of like 15, 20 dudes, and they had a lot of sniper shit. They had like sniper Naga and sniper sentry dummies, and I just full tanked like all of them. Like
That probably feels
for a
good.
long time. Like my Ansel, uh, I think my Ansel for the cheap fit. This is a sub 200 mil fit, and it tanks like I think 70k in Ansel.
Holy shnikes. Seriously?
Yeah, 70k. Okay, no, 63k in Ansel. With heat and blue standard blue pill.
That's really, really good.
Yeah, no crystals,
Yeah.
nothing. It was just like it's clean pod, standard blue pill, and heat on the Ansel. Obviously, no links. Against kinetic, this number is something absurd. I don't know what it is, but if some
Yeah.
people were shooting kinetic, you would be immortal basically.
Yeah, you should link me that. I'm gonna play with
Yeah,
it.
I did end up
One of my
playing the fit out a little just because um well, I kind of wanted to.
As you
Yeah,
do.
but
Yeah,
the
yeah,
but
yeah.
the cheap fit still tanks this much. I think like the fit I ended up going with tanks like 100k in that. So
Jeez.
my
yeah,
God. Yeah, one of my core Eve memories is like I used to fly. I actually still have it in Thera. But it's just a cat battery rail demos with like a reactive armor hardener and a dead space rep. And I remember fighting 5 Osprey navies that did not reload from kinetic ammo, and I just turned like had my rep on cold, just fragging all the Osprey Navy issues. So it was like me and one dude in a frigate, and I was just like approaching one point antimatter, approach the next point
Oh,
antimatter.
feels good.
It could not do anything. My reactive was fully spooled, so I had like 96% freaking can resist.
Yeah. Though I will say the Serb I think does need snakes, or you have to be fighting against like a very soft like opponent because it is way slower than the Munian, like a full 500 ms per second slower I think.
Oh wow.
So that's your trade
I
off.
guess it makes sense. Kaldari.
Yeah. You get more tank, but you lose a lot of speed. I found that it's not too hard to make that up with just snakes. Even mid-grades, I think is fine. But just base, it goes like, I think sub 2k meters per second. So it's not very good. That's not very good.
No, yeah, true. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight is looking at hack fits.
Oh yeah. It's nice to have some cheap stuff in the hangar that is actually capable of like nullsec stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the Vedmak is a great ship, but on bigger grids, I think the tank is kind of flimsy. You know, XLASBs are just broken mods.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes I think you fly better in cheap too because you're not worried. And so,
Oh yeah.
as Amelia says, ram, apply. Well, okay, if I don't care about the ship, I'm getting all the DPS out of it and I'm going for it. And I think that aggression is a legit like skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kill people with aggression and they'll be the ones running and then you're in the upper hand. And I think people sometimes bling out their ships and then fly too much of a pansy with it, and it just kind of negates the value you put in that ship in ISK.
Yeah. I know there's been
Yeah.
this like thought I've been thinking about when I was like reviewing some of my VODs for fights. That I noticed that like there's been quite a few fights, like say like two similar fights against the same amount of total opponents, and we'll just in one fight we'll win just because we're playing more aggressively, so you don't give your opponents a chance to like accumulate this like critical mass of numbers. Like
Yeah, I think that's legit true.
just like a couple of days ago, I remember we were out in the hole. I think it was me, Verdict, Sid, Amelia, and a couple of other people, and we were in just like frigates initially. Maybe we had a cruiser. I think we were just in frigates though, and we were fighting like there was a lot of dudes in local, and we were killing a bunch of stuff just because we were like killing things as they landed. But eventually we got overwhelmed, and they didn't even bring anything super cancer. It wasn't like full recon Vargers and stuff. They just had like enough T1 cruisers and like random stuff that like there's just too much of them. I was just thinking, it's like, man, if we had just like a little more damage, like we could have killed all of this just because they were trickling things in one at a time, and like we just needed to be killing things faster than they could accumulate this mass of like random stuff. Because like at some point there's just so many like random stuff that even if all they did was put all their drones on your ship, you would just like explode.
Man, I remember that was something that we had such a hard time with when when the Footed dudes started small ganging, is like we would go out and like just like frigates and anti-tackle ships, and we would go fight like Fraternity or something, which was actually fightable back then, but we wouldn't actually be able to kill anything. So we would just kite them for like 15 minutes, and then we would just have to leave because we just couldn't kill anything. We couldn't remove like any threats. We would just have to keep burning to towards the sun.
Yeah, I do. So I highly agree with Castor. I think aggression is definitely a skill, and there's some amount of risk, right? Which is I think why like I know for certain like we definitely were bad at that in the past, and maybe and still are to some degree. And it's like it's a hard choice to make to like stop kiting and burn in for damage. But like there's a lot of fights, like a lot of the fights I feel like where like at the end of the day you end up with this like ridiculous BR. It's not because you kited like 30 dudes for like 20 minutes and slowly chipped away at them. It's like you fought 5 dudes and then 5 dudes and then 5 dudes and then 5 dudes, right? And then you're killing them as they were coming in. So that's why in the end of the day it looks like you won like a 5v30 or something.
Something really cool to do. I'm going to sound like the biggest nerd ever right here. Is like sometimes speed up some of your VODs and just watch how it's kind of like a rubber band in and out, back and forth. It's kind of like a wave. Yeah, I guess is a better thing. You're going in and out like, all right, commit to this guy. You fly in and like, okay, something else you got to pull out, and then commit. You go in there. And I think the people that do that well, really excel on grids because, like you just said, anyone can kite around. I'm burning from here to the freaking sun for ages, and maybe get a slicer or maybe some jag kills or whatever. But the people that know how to commit, apply their damage, get in, are, I think they excel. And I think, the AT arena, again, nerd, it right, you're in a sphere, you got 125 kilometers, and at some point you're pinned, and you got to commit or find an opening before you get pinned, because a good team will always pin a kiting team, just regardless. So the only thing that you're doing with this kiting team is you're trying to create an opening for yourself by making angles, whatever, doing a circle, beacon 1, 2, 3, 4, however you want to do it. But you're literally just trying to create an angle to commit to and apply your damage. And I think, on a real grid in TQ, that's the same thing.
Yeah. I think, honestly, like, maybe I have a little bit of favoritism, but, like, I think AT, like, teaches you so much about, like, how to play aggressively. Because, like, you have to, there's no choice. You cannot kite to the moon, like, or kite to the sun. So, I remember, like, there was, this kind of, like, light bulb moment when I was talking about strategy with my captain Mira, and like we were discussing how to fly like this kite versus all-in matchup, and I think I remember thinking, man, I am such a noob, because it seemed like the Mira was like very confident about this call, or was it Mira? Whoever the shot caller was very confident. It's like, okay, we're gonna all in them at the beginning, and I was just like, what? We're flying like a no tank kite comp, and they're flying a ham rush or like a min rush. It's like, why is the call to rush them? And it was like, okay, in this, and someone explained to me, okay, in this specific matchup, we don't like, we have to kill their logi. Like, their logi has to die. And it doesn't matter if we trade, like, 2 ships for their 1 logi, because once their logi is down, we can kite forever and whittle them down, even if we're down, like, 1 or 2 ships.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't kill their logi, they will eventually catch us, and, like, we won't be able to break their tackle, and we'll all die. So, even though it felt incredibly unintuitive to me, but in the kite versus rush matchup, the strategy was actually to rush them and kill their everybody get to max damage and kill their logi as soon as possible. Like, you try to like screen, and like, you don't want to have everyone get tackled, like, obviously, right? You want to do your best to not trade too much for it, but like the most important thing is to kill their logi. You cannot just kite, or, like, start kiting and like not kill anything.
Kiting's for the end of the game. The start of the game's for killing.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to us actually in the 3rd match against Volta. We thought we killed their logi off the bat,
was so
but then
close.
it ended up surviving. And so when we were kiting around at the end, it was just wrapping their fly catches back up. We were like, okay, this is GG. We can't break anything with the Osprey still up, and
Yep.
So we got their Osprey into like 10% hull, and then all of our damage ships, myself included, like, burned out of range of it at the same time.
Oh, feels bad.
And like one rapid light volley would have killed it.
Yeah.
And I like, if I just clicked a little bit closer to him, like, he would have died, and like maybe we would have won the match.
Aggression, bros. That's the key.
Yeah, that was so sad.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, because I suck at looking at my overview. Like, I'm too busy like doing other stuff, so I didn't even realize that it died until like 2 minutes, or that it didn't die until like 2 minutes later, and stuff is getting repped, and I'm like, why is stuff getting repped? We killed the Osprey. No, we didn't. So
that was actually tragic.
Yeah.
I remember watching that, and it was actually the closest thing. It was so, like, on Spectator, it looked like he had like a sliver of hull left.
Oh, he did. He had, yeah. I have Oh, do I have the video? Yeah, I think I have the video. I don't know if I want to watch it again. I might cry.
Oh, there are some matches we just flat out don't watch ever again. There was a match versus Volta. We were in drones. We just don't speak of it ever again. And we don't talk about it. You'll get kicked from Hydra if you talk about it.
Yeah. Oh man, hearing that there's that video from somebody from Hydra that's like the sounds of a fixed
Yep,
match.
that's us.
Oh
Yep.
my god, that was just agonizing to listen to.
That honestly, that's every match. It's our team's been together for so long. I guess there's been turnover recently, but everyone listens to everyone, and we all like all 10 or 12 or 7, depending on what tournament it is, voices. You know who you're listening for, and everybody talks at the same time, and it works out.
Yeah, well, it works for you guys.
Yeah, well, there's that. We've been playing the same stupid game together for like 10 years.
We'll get there sometime, maybe. Yeah, I guess we've been going for pretty long, guys. But
All right.
yeah, it's
No problem. Thank you.
Go ahead.
All right. This has been really fun chatting with everyone, especially and definitely for you as well, Casper. But yeah, we should probably start wrapping it up. So this has been the Nanogangers Anonymous podcast. I'm happy for. That's not what I want to say. What do I want to say? I'm happy for everyone. I'm happy for everyone listening and continuing to listen to us ramble on about Eve and Spaceship Pixels. If anyone has interesting fights or something they want to bring up, let us know. We're always welcome to critique and always looking to improve our stuff. Casper, do you have any shout outs you want to make or anything you want to bring up and anything people will be interested in?
I'll do 2. One's really, really cool. One's kind of really shit. We'll start with the cool. Actually, we'll start with the shit one. A very well-known member has passed recently of the small game community. Needs to be real. That's really, really sad. Not this weekend because of Captain's Cup, but the following weekend we're going to do a slicer free-for-all in Tama. I'll do a big announcement like the day after the Captain's Cup, just because that way hopefully we'll get more members and the people will be there. I got 100 slicers already donated for it. CCP's already said they're going to donate some stuff for it, and we got some BSB members that have donated some prizes. So just like show up in Tama, I'll be able to do some announcements, and we're just going to do some slicer free-for-alls. That was his favorite ship. And so should be fun and, get some kills and have some fun and some prizes. So shitty moment, but we're going to end it on a good note on how we think he would like it. And positive note, good luck to the finalists in the Captain's Cup, and come join us on the BSB Discord.
Hell yeah. The BSB Discord is awesome. It's actually like, I don't know if I should say this, but it's like reached a very, I think, almost like perfect balance between 2 previous Discords that I've been a part of that were also Eve related.
Way to walk that line.
that I think is awesome. It's a great community.
Yeah, the fact that you can jump in at like a comms channel and then people jump in with you is like
it's awesome.
It's the best part of Eve. So yeah.
All right, thanks everyone for listening.
That's all I got. Somebody else?
Oh,
I have shout outs. Curse local
Hell
fauna,
yeah.
dude. My team. All right, we took an L against Volta, but we are still.
You took a W against Volta
Man,
too.
true.
That's saying
That's
something.
true. That's true. And also, our TQ rooms are sick, and I'm gonna get Vordak to log on sometime and roam with us.
Vordak's a bro.
He said he would do it. We pinned the message when he said he would do it, so he's gonna do it. God damn it! But no, those dudes are all so awesome and so enthusiastic and just fun people to play with. Andy, Necrox, Sid. I mean, I could list the whole team, but they're just all super cool dudes.
All right. In any case, thanks everyone for listening, and I'll catch you all next time.